Okay, I have it set up different because I couldn't move that chair after tomorrow. And so, anyways, but it still doesn't, I don't know. I don't understand how the light was coming through the other day. I mean, this is like the same time of day. So, I don't know. It's weird. And sometimes that red light, I feel like it makes me look yellow. I don't know if it makes the yellows in my eyes like see more yellow or something, but like even right now, I feel like I look yellow and I haven't even had that red light on. Um, but anyways, I've obviously just got one thing on my mind, and so it's hard to think about anything else. So I don't know how long I'm going to talk, and I don't know what the deal will be tomorrow. Is now they moved my surgery an hour later, and so I was thinking I would record when I got back. Now, when I get back, I don't know if I'm not too tired or whatever. Um, I just don't know how I'm going to feel. So if I don't feel horrible, then I'll just go ahead and record. If I feel yuck, I'll probably just wait and do it um, tomorrow. I mean, the day after tomorrow. I won't try and like rush or anything. But if I feel good and I'm, got stuff to talk about, then I'll record when I get back. Because I was thinking, well, I could always before I go, but man, I don't. It just seems like everything is kind of going out of control right now. Like everything is kind of reaching this point of like the TikTok ban, and that is like got people totally freaked out, and then plus the whole way they did it, and then they have people just talking about it's just they're doing money laundering right here in front of us, which yeah they have been this whole time. But see, this is like that group of people. There's a group of people who are waking up to some of this stuff right now, and so the all that stuff has to play out, and there is it just is like everything is so much more exaggerated. Everything's more exaggerated. Like the craziest car wrecks keep happening. It's complete crazy car wrecks. Horrible ones too. Drunk people just crashing into parties. And this one, somebody, I don't know, was flying into the car wash, couldn't control their car or something, and smashed one car, but they smashed all the cars in front of it, and one of them was a cop car, but the one that hit them all, it was flipped over. So I don't even know how fast it was going. I don't even know what the hell. But I just keep seeing tons of that kind of footage of everything being extreme, just extreme animal stories, extreme relationship stuff, like extreme stuff going on planes. Like everything is like way more exaggerated, way more like, oh my God. Because it's just this buildup. It's like the absurdity to get people's attention, to get people to, pay attention to what's happening in the world. And because that is all part of the awakening. And which I don't even feel like I want to be awake right now. I'm so tired. And I think it's like a full moon or something, but I could not sleep at all last night. God, it was so irritating because it was not it was just like my brain wouldn't shut the fuck up. It was just like, oh my God, it just kept thinking and thinking. I kept trying to relax and relax. And then I guess I must have fallen asleep a few times because I had the craziest dreams that seemed like it was really happening. And then, as soon as I would be like, I just kept getting woke up, and then I would just lay there and lay there and lay there and lay there and lay there, and I was like, oh my God, this sucks. And then, and yesterday, I thought I was going to be so tired because I swear I was up in the middle of the night before. All these times, all these nights just start blending in. All these days, all this stuff is just like, oh. But I can't I just can't even believe that now it's to that day. And it's so crazy because it's, you know, for me, it's such a long time, like long time to get here. It's like, oh my gosh. I seriously thought I was going to have to wait for the med beds. I had no idea. You know, luckily the universe brought me the information about the doing the explants with local, because I was no way going to go and do all that surgery again like that. And so I keep on thinking, especially for how much aching I have from these. And in lately, and I don't know if it's from the turning up the frequency or something, but it is, I swear to God, sometimes I think sound's traveling through these things. I can hear sound. What? Somebody's talking. And it's like an antenna. But there is like something, and they're uncomfortable and they feel like they pulsate. And sometimes it feels like it's like pulsating with my heart and stuff. Like, and I keep thinking like, geez, this is so weird to have plastic. Like to say, here, put some plastic in me. Just put some plastic that interfere with things. Like you think about like if you had a computer and everything is running on like electronics and all that business, and then you decide to stick some plastic in, well, usually that disrupts the charge. Like, isn't that a part of like if you are going to get electrocuted, you want to be holding like rubber or wood, like so anyways, that is another part of the exaggeration to me of the plastic inside of me. Like it's, I don't know, it feels like it's demanding to get out. Like it's wanting a jailbreak. It's ready to go right through my skin. So anyways, I can't wait. And I keep wondering, like, if other people who have plastic inside of them, if they're feeling like, I don't know, like an alien's inside of them or something. And I can't put my foot up there. But let me think. I'm telling you, my mind is very, for one thing, I'm really, really tired because of whatever weird night, and I've been up for a really long time. And yesterday too, I wanted to, I swear to God, I kept wanting to lay down. I was so tired. And anytime Stella would walk away or lay down, no, what was she? She kept staying on the side. But then she came in and I like fell asleep in like 1 second. And then every time she'll start crying, like something is making her wake me up. It's so annoying. And then, so I wasn't getting to go to sleep and I was just dragging. I swear to God, yesterday afternoon, I don't know. Because it seems like she kept staying out and she had gotten up. Yeah, because she got up at 3 in the morning and was crying. And then she kept staying out and was acting so weird. And then, and I was just super tired. And so I laid down or something, and she did as soon as I swear to God, she can be snoring. And as soon as I relax, then she'll jump up. It's like, what the fuck? There's no fucking way. That is a goddamn Archon, motherfuckers. And so that, I kept thinking last night when I went to bed, I would be conked out. I was like, fuck, I can't wait to go to bed. I'm going to be so, and then I was just like, wide awake, just laying there, just like thinking and thinking and thinking. It wasn't even stress or anything. And I kept thinking, is this because I'm so excited? Am I just so excited about tomorrow? Well, it would have been the day after tomorrow, but I kept trying to see, like, try and figure out, like, is it me? But then I saw, too, about the full moon. And I think somebody else told me that they were having problems sleeping. So I'm sure it's the energy. Probably other people are having the same kind of thing. I'm just like, man, I'm tired. But it's just like something that keeps disrupting the sleep or something. Now, what the hell? It's a black SUV. Okay, he stopped right at my fucking side of my thing, right there. Oh my God, what in the holy hell? So they're just sitting there. Like, what the fuck? Okay, now they're driving slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay, they stopped again. Now they're turning in the driveway across the street. Now they're backing up. Now they're turning to go the other way. Hopefully it's just an innocent thing of somebody getting lost on the addresses. And it just happens to be a black SUV that stopped right by my house again. They're driving super slow. Like, what the fuck? And still, even if that was the other day, which that is very coincidental, that, like I said, like 8 months ago, it'd be the same people. And then 8 months later, they'd come and do the same thing again. Like, I don't know about that. I don't see how that's just people who bought the house. Like, it wasn't even for sale then. I mean, I might have been getting threatened with foreclosure. It might have already been on the LLC list or something. I'm sure when there's a place where they're trying to hot market it, you know, jack up the prices, that's when they want to sweep in. But this seems kind of like, I don't know if that was the same people, but anyways, it seems like harassment, you know? And why in the world, if somebody else had bought the house, why wouldn't they have sent me something in the mail by now and said something to me? You know, said, hey, if it was a regular person, say, hey, we bought your house. Man, I was watching, what was this? Oh, it was some, I don't know. It said it was a true story. I swear it said it was a true story, but I don't know. It was some Lifetime movie. And these people went and bought this old house. It was like a cabin. It was only like 5 miles out, but it was like out rural. Like we're 30 miles. So, 5 miles, I mean, I don't know. It depends on where you're going out from, I guess. But anyways, so in this movie, it was like 5 miles from town. It was 5 long-ass miles. But the people who were out there had been their house for generations. Like the guy who they were trying to kick out was born there. And then his mom got sick and she didn't leave him the house. And so everybody's like, well, why wouldn't she live in the house? But it was like, you know, a house that had had generations living there. It was a mess. And then it was kind of like that. The state was just taking the house and selling it to somebody else. And there's this person's family house. And this shit happens all the time. That's a thing. This happens all the time. And they just bully them out of their homes. And it's happened all up like in the Appalachian, like a lot of communities and stuff, they bully the people out of their houses. And so anyways, they because how this has been his family's thing. Why would it have anything to do with anybody else? I mean, unless the mother-in-law was the one selling that, or the mom was the one selling the house. And oh my God, she's so dramatic. Hold on. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm doing this. Stella, I'm doing this. Anyways, just feels so weird. Anyways, I feel like it's so hard to even keep my thoughts straight. It's very hard to ground to, like, I mean, to feel present in this world, to not feel like a ghost, especially when you're kind of like on your own, you know. Stop, please. I mean, I'm just gonna inspect this a little setup I've got. It won't take much to knock it down. Anyways, so the guy, so they do this kind of stuff though. They bully people out of their houses and they take land and all that, especially if it's land, like, there was land fuck if it had gold or any kind of natural resource that they wanted to take, they would just, you know, take the land. But anyways, so them bullying him out of his family home, which you would think, once it's a family home, it's your, like, how can they, I don't, it's so weird. But anyways, he ended up, he was a serial killer. And so he had been killing people and hunting them out in the woods and stuff. And then he saved them like trophies. And so those people who moved into the house didn't have a good outcome. Pretty horrible. But I could totally see the whole scenario of how they do push people out of their houses and turn people into maniacs. This guy was a maniac, you know, in this story beforehand. But, you know, that's another thing is, because there's another show where the same kind of situation happened and the person started stalking the family. And so I'm sure it happens a lot, because I can totally see that it's against your human rights, especially when you know about your rights and with the banks and stuff, and you know about the corruption. But see, we're still in this movement where people are just starting to figure it out, and they're so focused on the money the government's spending that they're not thinking about the money that is crashing, like what's happening to the economy. So that, you know, however this is going to play out, like, you know, I mean, it's fucking like a guessing game. I just know, you know, the things are gonna happen is all of it's gonna crash, and you can't be holding on to shit. Otherwise, it's gonna hurt when it gets yanked out of your hands. So you have to be willing to let go. Like TikTok. Like, you gotta be willing to let go of that. And like, even with YouTube, I'd be willing to let go of. It's like, okay, well, you know, the universe has its own plan. And, you know, you can't second guess destiny. It's like destiny is set. So, and however it's going to play out, how it's going to play out. And TikTok has got a lot of fucking issues. Like, a lot of these ones, too, they were doing bad stuff on some of these platforms. Really bad stuff. And for people to keep thinking that, you know, it's all cool because they've built up their platform on there talking about fucking government drama, and that they don't realize, like, the bad stuff that's going on there. It's going to probably go down. There's a lot of this social media stuff that is going to go down. I don't know what will develop after that. There will be kind of a development, like, if people will even be too concerned about, like, because what did it turn into? It turned into a really toxic, ego-driven format that people tried to build a fake life up for themselves. People still put on these masks and all this stuff and build up this fake life for themselves to try and impress strangers. It's like, it was very toxic, and it has been used for, you know, a lot of crimes against children, and it's all of these platforms. So I think that they're all going to, I don't know about, you know, what it would be the deal with X. You know, it seems like they're kind of using that to get people's attention. And, you know, free speech, but there's a lot of stuff being said on there, and you don't know what accounts are set up for what. And like on TikTok, there's another big creator that just suddenly died, and she's in New York, and she's having a big ceremony memorial thing tomorrow in I don't know if it was Manhattan or something. And so she was some influencer person who was young and dropped dead, and nobody knows what she died from. So I don't know what she died from. And then the same with the other one. They keep talking about the other one who's all involved with, you know, the Jennifer, and now having stuff about Oprah going into it too. And then and then there was another one that I saw of, this was off the Daily Mail or something, and they were saying this content creator, had 7 million followers, and then all of a sudden disappeared and was just like not gonna. And they're like, why would she just all of a sudden stop with all these followers? I think when people start having a lot of issues too, that's gonna show, like, you know, when real life happens, who cares about followers? Like, when you're going through a tragedy, people keep trying to use tragedies and use things to go viral and stuff. But when it comes down to it, you know, when you got to face hard stuff, you know, you can't sit there and focus on your followers. Like, what are you going to do? So I don't know what that lady has going on in her life, but she's abandoned that, and she could come back too. But yeah, who knows? She could be another one just keels over. I don't know. There's a lot of, I think there's a lot of sudden death, and I think that's a sign too that things are speeding up, because it will be a lot of that, you know, not prolonged drug out death, just a lot more leaving the game. And so it will go faster. It seems like everything is like speeding up and going faster and faster. And it seems like it has like this waving kind of thing, like with the energy. And so that to me, it seems like it's like going and going and going to where it builds up momentum. The energy builds up momentum, which creates bigger energy. And so there's just a lot with all of the people. Like, it's a weird energy when you go on TikTok too. And I don't know, just the things that people are talking about, how they're talking about it, what they're thinking about and stuff. It just seems like there's a lot of movement happening, and a lot of people. And don't forget too that, like, when they were doing, like, this is thing about this too. So they say, oh, we're going to do this TikTok ban. So then you get all these people who are spending all day on TikTok. All of a sudden they're tuning in to watch the House live and Congress live and all this stuff. So they're all watching, tuned into that, which I remember back in 2020, we were doing the same damn thing. We were like, you know, what are they doing now? What are they doing now, motherfuckers? And so now, you know, these people are like, okay, we're going to stop our life and focus because they're going to take away TikTok. And then you see the footage of them all with their new flags, like, because they support other countries in our place. And so all the outrage behind that, where people are just like, oh my God, but they take it so serious. And, you know, it's part of the awakening. It's part of the absurdity. It's part of, for people to see. So, to really clarify, yeah, your government's not for you. Government is taking your, well, by all means, but it's not really, but it would be taking all your taxes, which so many people are refusing to pay theirs. So see, that's the movement. There's movement going in the direction of freedom. There's a movement of people stopping and saying no. And more and more with the talking and stuff of people talking about what's going on. But they get all these people to focus on what's going on in House and Congress, and then make this big display, and then get the people kind of come together as it's like they're both bad. Like, this is like a new thing for these people. Like, both sides are bad, because they were so divided over, no, this side's bad and this side's bad. Well, you look at them on the floor and they're all standing there together. It's all a trick. And so that is a part of the show. It's part of the show for the people to recognize. But it's not a show to them. It's a show when you know what's going on. To them, this is real life. This is what's really happening. This is why things fall apart, is because it's falling apart. Like, all this stuff is really happening. And in the life of the people, you know, in the Sims game, everything is falling apart like that. And so they all experience that falling apart situation. So it is just, when you see some of this stuff, just don't get all caught up in it. Just keep recognizing, oh, this is part of the show. It's part of the show. It's part of the show. Especially when it's such absurd stuff. But you can really see the movement and how the people's energy changes. And like how people start being like, why am I going to work all week? Why am I paying my money to have some apartment? And like they're reevaluating. There's like so much talk, people reevaluating their life and what they want. So many with relationships falling apart, and people talking about like in relationships, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. There's still the goddamn bear versus man talk. That's still going. Like, still big points being made. And I'm just like, I don't know. If it comes down to being a man or a bear, it seems like I'll go with my same species. And, I can't automatically assume because it's a man that he's automatically a murderer. Like, I have known some men do some really horrible things in my life, but I don't know. I've known way more men that don't do horrible things. Like, and I think a lot of the men who do horrible things, it's like a mishap. I don't think I've ever, well, yeah, I've been around some people that I've thought were psychopaths, but, that's lack of empathy, lack of compassion, only thinking about how things affect you. That's the narcissist, is only thinking about themselves, But the thing is too, is those people are also doing that out of protection. They're trying to protect themselves because they've been so hurt. So it's not out, like they're doing it out of cruelty. So a lot of the narcissists do it out of protection, but I'm talking about like the psychopaths that just don't care. Like this Cody in Wyoming. Like there is more of these kind of people, and they keep being, on the local news and stuff. Like this one is horrible. This woman had a baby, and I don't know, I think she was on Facebook, and one of her cousins started asking her a lot of questions. But her cousin was in Florida, and she's in Washington. And I was thinking they were talking about Washington State, but maybe they were talking about D.C. I don't know. I think they were talking about Washington State, though. And so the cousin in Florida started asking the lady, well, what's your address? I want to send you something. And so a couple days later, an Amazon, it was somebody who looked like an Amazon delivery person, came to her door and was knocking. When she opened the door, they punched her, went in and started punching her, tied up her 2-year-old, threatened horrible things about the 2-year-old, and then stole the baby, put it in the Amazon box, and took off. And the woman, she was able to get out of they zip tied her. She was able to get out of it and get to a phone and call 911. And then she was able to tell them how unusual it was about what her cousin was asking her all those questions. And so then they did an investigation. It went pretty fast too, because they had the baby back in 4 hours. But the woman in Florida, her cousin, is set up to steal her baby and sell it for $70,000. The people are now being held on bond for like 175 each, 175K each. So, but like fucking hell, like the shadiest stuff is going on. Like the really dark stuff in society has to be purged out. And some people, as they purge out their darkness, they will be humiliated and be ashamed, especially when it turns. But a lot of people, like their darkness and stuff, it will be like too much for them, and then they'll commit suicide, like, because it's going to be a lot. Like there's so much shady shit that goes on because there's so much shady shit. And so then it's like, oh well, everybody else is doing it. Well, this is, like they think if the world is immoral, then just jump in and be immoral. And it is what was this other one? Oh, there's some of these TikTok people who read these Reddit stories, and like, oh my God, some of these stories, like moms going and having affairs with their daughters' husbands, even while their daughter's pregnant. ones where the dad is the 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 boy, he's 18. He's been with this girl since she was 14. And so they've been a couple in high school for 4 years. And the son's madly in love with the girl. And the wife found out that that the girl she found pictures or something on her husband's phone, and I found out that the husband's been having an affair with the son's first girlfriend for a long time, not just like a few weeks. I think it's been a couple of years. And so the wife was devastated. She was like, well, she was done about it, but she's more devastated about her son. Like, what is she gonna do about her son? Like, how is she gonna break the news to him? I think that story wasn't a Reddit story. I think that was the woman telling her real story. But there is a bunch of Reddit ones where it's just like the craziest stuff of the stuff that people will do to each other. And so anyways, I was saying, in a godless society, there's like no morals. And the thing is like people think because there's like Christians and stuff like that, that this isn't a godless society, but they are not worshiping. There's like no morals. There's no morals. And a lot of people think like it's okay to just do things because the blood of Jesus washes you of your sins. So, and you're just a sinner anyways. So what can you expect? So they kind of just use an excuse, or the devil got in them and stuff, not taking responsibility for their own actions, and not taking, and then plus the God that they tell us all to worship is so divisive, so hateful. Like, I don't get it. So anyways, that to me, we still have like a godless society, as we have like people in the church who have no morals, committing sexual crimes and all sorts of stuff. Like, there's so many of that's a part of the disclosure, is how many of these people who are getting busted are like, people think that they're good Christian people, and they are Chimo people. And so the with all that stuff is like the revealing of our society. Like I said, everybody keeps thinking like it's going to be this big who's on the Epstein. I'm like, oh shit. Like, there is still people just losing their fucking minds over that. We want the list. And it's like, but all these crimes, like, it wasn't just one island, wasn't just one group of people. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is our society. And it doesn't matter if they were on that fucking going to that island. There's a whole bunch of other ones. There's a whole bunch of other bad stuff going on. Like, fuck, Hugh Hefner is underneath his place. We had a whole system. He had tunnels that reached out to other mansions and stuff. Like, they were running stuff under, and people, where's all the fucking Hefner party lists? Is there everybody? Where's the footage? Do we have videotapes? Well, NSA has tapes. See, it's not for us to worry about. Is the people who are going to be going down. Maybe that is like the appetizers, is they're starting out with the people who are in your communities, so that you start, bringing it home of like how serious this really was. It wasn't just a group of people out on an island somewhere. This was prevalent in our society. And it has been, I think a lot. I would be curious over the numbers, over how many kids have experienced some type of adult sexual contact when they are children. I think it is probably huge numbers, because there was always this hidden group that was accepted. And they were the ones who were in there able to, be a part of the legal system and stuff, to write the rules for the rest of us. But they would protect each other. So, but I think it is, I don't know. I swear to God, I think it's most people have had some kind of an encounter of some inappropriate adult when they were a child. And it is just it's so prevalent in our society. But that is a part of what is, our disclosure. And those are the things that people have to look at because it is an immoral society. We have a society that just indulges into any kind of frivolous, even as things need to go further, they turn it into a fetish and make it, more and more instead of thinking like, oh, have I ever gone too far? No, they just go further. And so it was like, where does it stop? Not even when people are getting hurt. It just keeps going. And not to have empathy or even have understanding over when you are involved in the PORN industry as a consumer, that who the people are who are being, they're those are it's like you're basically committing a crime, literally. So because all of these people are being held against their will and all sorts of stuff is going on. Like, I don't know. I would think, the girls who are willing to do that for their own selves, you probably find them on OnlyFans or something, running their own businesses or something. But movie industry and then there's so much about with drugs and stuff. But I'm not talking about like the big movie industry part of that industry. I'm talking about all of the ones that are made, that are distributed on the dark web and stuff. All that stuff. Like that's a lot. And that is big money. I bet you it is way bigger money than what goes into the regular. The regular PORN probably is kind of just a thing to pacify communities that are outraged by sexual content, to say, that it's overseen, it's contained and controlled, when really it's very out of control. Like I said, I mean, it was being run on TikTok, it's being run on Instagram, it's being run on Facebook. So they are running these stuff, and some people are exploiting their own fucking kids, man. So that's how seedy our society have become. Is like, for what? For what? I mean, it's crazy. I don't understand what it is that people are chasing. Like, do they not understand the value of your soul, of what it feels like to have morals? When you just don't have any and you just keep going further and further, you will feel worse about yourself. Like, you have to have integrity. You can't just, sell your soul for $10, like with a lot of these people too. That's a part of this whole TikTok thing too, is all these people now have got themselves controlled and contained by not being able to use their voice, throat chakra, part of the awakening, due to financial standards that the distributor is placing on the people, so that it, hostages them from being able to speak up about the things that are currently going on, because they're not allowed to say it. And there's so many different things that they were doing in order to control the people. They were trying to get everybody to jump on. I wouldn't jump onto that stuff. I didn't do it, and as I knew it was shady. And the content creator thing, their content creator thing, is how they got a lot of people sucked in to thinking that they were going to get money, they were going to get paid, and then whatever the other stuff. Like, I didn't do it, so I don't know. I just know it kept being one drama after another, And then it turned into all these people just selling shit all day long. Now it's like, well, you can sell shit, but that's all you can do. And some people are willing to do that. I saw one guy, he's like, well, they take down my videos anyways. But it's like, but don't you see what's going on? This is a part of you speaking your truth. This is a part of you standing in what you believe in, standing for integrity, standing up for your beliefs and your rights, and not just bowing over to, the dollar bill. And it's going to be like the dollar is going to go out like a cheap whore, man. It's definitely going to be like, oh, really? You pay? Oh, yeah, you did that for? Oh, it's very cringy because it's just and then like I was saying before, when you understand that was all going on with the banks and stuff, that all of their trappings that they did in order to control us, in order to manage us and enslave us into their system, that is all corrupt, they had to like get all their friends in there and make the laws and stuff. But that's when Donald stepped in and he separated the republic from the corporation, bankrupted the corporation, took all of their money. That's why all these numbers and stuff is just so absurd. We don't fucking $93 billion. Like, we're goddamn fucking how many trillions of dollars in debt? I haven't even seen that damn ass clock counter thing lately. But we're trillions and trillions in debt, and we're still. And remember the big dramas that they would have. I think it was during Barack's term, and they were always creating this fucking drama, and he was trying to put through this, and they would hold it up, and they wouldn't put through this money. I was like, constantly, if it was like our debt ceiling was going to crash or something, like we needed to extend how much we could borrow all the fucking time, and it would go through these months of nobody voting and all this fucking drama. And now all of a sudden they're just, oh, Jesus, going through, oh yeah, 93 billion over there, 110 billion over there. It's like, it's absurd. And so it's like all of their stupid bullshit that they used to do. Well, I don't know. You had to pay attention, I guess, to what they used to do. Like, a lot of people may think like this is normal. Like, they just put this through like snappy-do. And it's not. It's not like that. It is, they've had huge dramas. They make a big fucking thing over, it's the blue or it's the red, oh, blah, blah, it's always some bullshit. And so that, to me, is part of the absurdity now. Is like they're just throwing it through. And, but anyways, but it's to create this outrage. It's to create these people to be outraged, to fucking have some emotions, to pay goddamn attention. Like all these shallow people off of TikTok, pay attention to what's going on the floor and stuff. And then also where people were talking about, they're waving these other things and saying like that is all the bad things about that. But that is what I've been saying about in the streets and stuff. And there was even footage of one person who burned an American flag in one of these protests and saw on video. And I swear to God, I am positive it was even in an executive order. But he made a whole thing about if you burn one of those things, it was going to be $10,000 or something that you'd have to pay. And it was during when the group, the Tifas, they were going and knocking down statues and shit. And he was during that time that he was made, it was like in some executive orders or something. I don't remember. But I was like, fuck, some of these people, because that's the thing, is they think that they can get away with some of this stuff because, Joe's not doing shit. But that's the thing, is like, once that whole thing goes, there's this other force, like there was another force to be reckoned with, and it's the truth, and it's what's real. And so, however it's gonna play out, I don't know. But it's definitely, I think some of these people are going to be held accountable for the stuff they're doing. Like, I don't know if it would be like, oh, okay, well, you can stay in corporate America. You can't come into the republic. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go down. I don't know how a lot of this stuff is going to go down. I just know it's going to go down. When government's going down, the medical's going down, and everything has to switch over. Like, people who are medical professionals need to start thinking more about naturopathic and stuff. And I saw this one guy, and he had gone in, and his doctor called and told him that he had to come in. He had to talk to him right away. So he went in, and they started telling him he needed to go on Lipitor and something else. And so the guy was like, well, I don't want to do that. And he was like, oh, you have to. He started putting all this pressure on him, making this whole huge thing. And the guy was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And the guy got really mad and left and made somebody else come in and talk to him or something. And I don't know, some kind of thing. So then the guy went home, and he did all natural stuff. And then he went back and did his lab work. And then the doctor was just like shocked. And then the doctor was talking to him. I was like, asking him, like, how did you do that? And the doctor was saying, we're not taught. Like, but see, they have to wake up to that they've been tricked. And they, in medical and a lot of jobs, like the lawyers and stuff, that they interject or inject them with a lot of ego, because that's a distraction. So keep them, focused on their ego, focused on the money, focused on how good they're doing or whatever it is. But you have to stop. You have to feel things. I swear to God, if that was that same car again, I was gonna be like, what in the holy hell? But I think that one was my neighbor. She has a black SUV. So, anyways, but the people who are doing that stuff, then I don't know, because it is like they're going against the corporation of America, because they don't even know that there's like a Republic of America. And so, but they're I don't know. I don't know. This is going to be curious how some of this stuff plays out. And on the medical, the doctors have to stop and think. I just can't even believe that they can see this stuff up in the skies and know how much toxins are in our food. And then people go in with any kind of medical issues, and that's not all they're talking about. Like, why they are talking about anything else. Like, your body's broken, you need these meds, you need... there's so many people, so many young people going on chemo. And I keep going into other things and telling them to do a parasite cleanse and stuff, but people just don't listen. There was another video about the copper. There's been some really good ones on the copper. And I think this one was also saying how important it is that they all need each other. So if you are short on something that is needed in the like the domino effect thing, that you will have an issue, like something, like maybe your hair is falling out, and you think, well, I'm taking all these other ones, but they all need each other. And so I don't know, there's something about people taking the supplements too. I don't think, like, taking iron and to me it is way better just to go back to basics, not taking all these supplements. I've even seen people, well, I take a vitamin, well, I take a multivitamin, stuff. Like, they don't put the same amount of stuff. Like, you need to go into go back to basics. For one thing, cooking for yourself. For another thing, cooking from scratch. For another thing, using pans that are not high-tech, Teflon and all their stuff, to just go back to cast iron. And it does the same thing as like the copper cup. is when you leave your water sitting in the copper cup, it just radiates minerals and stuff into your water. And then, but you have to watch out because it can leach too much and then you can feel sick. And then another person told me like they drank too much copper and it makes you sick where you don't want to drink it. And so you got to monitor yourself, and pay attention. But so the, so drinking out of the copper cup, that gives you the most amount of copper. Like there's people who take copper supplements. I don't understand all this with the supplements. And then, it's not an easier way, and it's got more stuff that they put into the stuff. And then the cast iron, that when you cook food into it, it does the same thing. It like leaches the iron into your food. And so then your food has more nutrition. So it has more minerals. So when you absorb your food, you absorb more minerals. Like I don't even know when you're taking supplements what it even attaches to, because a lot of things need a carrier. And so your food gives you absorption. So when you absorb the nutrition out of your food, then you're getting the real nutrition out of it. But see, like it's important for copper to have iron and magnesium, and they all work together. And so, and I'm sure that there's more of them. But anyways, it was another video talking about that. And there's still so many people. Like I even had a girl yesterday. I don't know if I said it to her already, but she was like, said that her hair turned gray when she was 19, or turned white when she was 19. And I had said something about, take copper or whatever. And she said, oh, well, no, it's genetic. It's hereditary, because the same thing happened with my dad. It's like, what in the hell with people? How can... Okay, so your hair just loses all its color because your dad loses all his hair, loses all its color. It's like, I don't know why people can't, I don't know. It's like you have to wake up and think things through. And so anyways, especially if it was like, fuck, when you were 19, man, and your hair turns all white, it was like you've got to have been on a mineral shortage for so long. But it's the weirdest thing too is like people don't even try it. They don't even think like, oh, I'm going to look into that. No, that is not the thing. Oh, I'm going to look into that. I'm going to go see. No, I'm just like, oh, no, that's not true. No, that's not a thing. And it's like, well, I don't know. But that is each person, like, has to wake up to their own truth, their own soul, their own health, their own way of how they take care of themselves, their own dependency on the system, their own, a lot of things. Like, there's a lot of conversations about the meds, about all the diagnoses, like, all these conversations just keep coming up and coming up as people try and work it out and try and understand and talk about things, because it's like a shuffling and it's like a reevaluation it's like reset your moral compass and to think about it and talk it through. And so many people are, there's a lot of people who just have no moral fiber, man. It's just like, well, whatever they can get away with, go get away with that. It's like, and it could be just like, playing a role. It doesn't mean that they're just a bad guy. There's a lot of people who are super out of balance because, conscious energy has both sides. And so when somebody's just deep into the dark, then it's like they're way out of balance. But there's a lot of people that, I don't know, I think that there's some people who just come into the game to experience like bad stuff, to see, maybe it is all just to challenge themselves, to see like how they grow and what they do and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. It just is. Each person has their own soul story, their own soul journey. It just is weird, like in this awakening and stuff like that, to just watch as all these people are just so immoral, just like don't care about other people. So anyways, as they wake up to that part, either they will, you know, not go forward, or they will wake up and have to heal and face this really dark part of themselves. And like, I don't know, that's the part where it's going to get hairy. And it's just crazy to see so many people, like, and it's so disappointing too when you hear about stuff about people who you know and stuff. It's just like, man. And I don't know, you got to remember not to let life get you down. Like, don't, it's a game. You can't let it get you down. Like, I know so many people are disconnected from their soul and stuff, but you got to, like, connect to yourself, so that you don't, so you don't feel so down or something. Like, I don't know. Everybody's got their own stuff to go through with this. Like, I don't know. Like, it definitely is, to me, very twisty. Like, everything is like twisting around. And so how it all falls, we'll have to see. But it will be, people will have to face themselves, face their own attitude, face their own hatefulness. All face a big one will be facing their own, facing their own fears, because they're all so focused on their fears and they don't even realize it. But facing their own biases, and it's going to be like a total reevaluation of, like, why did I look at it this way? Why couldn't I see this before? How can I see this now, but I couldn't see it before? And but I don't know. Just all of it is going to be mind games. It's going to be all you having to try and figure out how to find peace, how to look at things, how to, like, all you got to do is focus on the goals. The goals, is to heal, so you can release your pain and suffering, release your anger and your whatever you hold against other people. You got to release that. You got to let go of shit, and try and just keep expanding to become more compassionate and caring and more loving. Like, that's the goals. So whatever it is that you're going through, like, keep thinking, like, that's where you're headed, that's where you're trying to get to. So whatever it is you're trying to let go of is, to let go of a lot of anger and pain in order to get to the part so that you can be in forgiveness and love and everything. So, but whatever it is that you have to go through there to be able to see and understand things, that is your own mind. That's your own, mental gymnastics that you have to get yourself through. And it's important too to not play games with yourself. Like, you're going to have to really face yourself. You're going to have to really be real with yourself. You have to learn how to speak up for yourself, how to speak your own truth, how to be present, how to not be reactive, how to be compassionate with people you don't agree with. There's just a lot of things. And all of the different things are all being challenges, currently, so that you can challenge yourself, so you can learn these things. So just whatever you're going through, just keep on thinking about what's the point of this? What's the point of this? And, the point is so you can let go of shit. You can heal shit. You can make changes in you. I mean, people always want to change everybody else, but the thing you're here to change is you. You're here to change your thinking, to change your, your vibe. So if you're just all like angry and low and, you're here to bring it up, to feel better, to let go of stuff, to start really recognizing what's important and what's not important. not get so hung up, because the things that people get hung up on are definitely like trends and just nonsense, all artificial distraction to keep you distracted and to keep you. I mean, a lot of what they're doing right now is to keep you in a state of frustration and to hold you back. And I don't know, on the big scheme of things, if it is to try and hold you back from ascending, like, because they think that they can keep you trapped in their world or something. I'm not sure. But whatever's going to happen, is it's already set. So it's not like that we can, it just, to me, there's so many things you just gotta not worry about. Like, people get so focused on everything, that every possibility that scares them and stuff like that. And it's better to just not focus on those things, because you don't know for sure. Like, why spend energy focusing on something that scares you when you don't know for sure that's going to happen? And there's so many people that are so sure over what's going to happen and this is going to happen. I don't think that it's going to be scary stuff that's going to, I mean, there's, yeah, scary stuff like storms and shit like that. These kinds of things are scary, but like, I mean, there's going to be some places that are going to be horrible. But, I don't know, for the degree of fear what people have, it's like that they don't understand, like, this isn't real. Like, this isn't where we really live. This is a game. This isn't real life. And people get so caught up in it, like, this is real life and this is all there is, and they're going to lose out on it, and they're scared and all that stuff. So it is, all of it is just like a big part of distracting and, I don't know, keeping people small and limited. The more that you can face your stuff and expand yourself, the more you realize, like, none of this matters. None of this stuff fucking matters. What people are all like, and how people dedicate so much of their time and energy towards stuff that doesn't fucking matter. So just keep trying to look at things in a bigger perspective. Give it, give it more perspective, so it isn't so big, so you can look at it and put it into place, put it in its place, and working on what scares you, of minimizing it, to really keep thinking, well, I mean, it's not even likely. There's a lot of stuff. It's like, oh, that probably won't happen. But people get so caught up and keep thinking, oh my God, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. I fucking see these people all day long on TikTok. And it's like, you've got to just let go of this stuff. Like, none of us know for sure what's going to happen. Like, what we do know is we're going through a huge change. There's a huge change on the planet. And it's going to have some rough stuff, but it's going to have a great outcome. Like, everything is going to, whatever bad things are going to turn beautiful. Everything is going to turn into something good. So this is a lot more of, being aware, being present, learning your lessons, and keep trusting, like, everything is going to turn in this good way. And it's not going to be this horrible thing like what they are all caught up in. And it is so crazy too, because they think like I sound like I'm crazy or something, because I think good things are going to happen. I'll get in arguments with people. Oh, but you just don't understand what's happening. Well, I'm pretty sure that I think you don't, because this is the pole shift. This is the end of an era. And I think there's some landslides or something over in California. So I don't know if that's going to be leading more towards the earthquakes or something. But anyways, we're going to keep having shit. This is going to keep going. Yeah. All that stuff's going to keep going. And there will be people who will leave the game. But that isn't, they're just leaving the game. They're going home. That doesn't mean they're ceasing to exist and we'll never see them again. And then we're going to be starting so many things over. And it's going to be so much more creative. It's going to be so much of us in charge. We're going to be, designing communities and creating, it's going to just be so much better. Like, we've been under such mass control for so long, but this is why, you know, we is awakening and this breaking free and all this growing, and that's why we got to go through all these parts, all these people coming to it, realize and talking about it and talking about it. So, anyways, that's the energy that I see right now. It's just a lot of like, but it definitely feels like it's picking up the pace, like it's moving faster and faster. To anything can go. I mean, any of this stuff could happen. Joe could fucking fall off a stage and have a heart attack. Uh, Fucking who knows? Like, what will be the thing? The banks, whatever it's gonna be. But it's not just like one thing is gonna happen. It's gonna be one thing is gonna lead to another thing, is gonna lead to another thing, and they could drag it out. And if they drag it out, it's not to just punish us, it's to try and lessen the blow, because it's gonna be such a huge blow on communities and the people who aren't awake. So it's much more about trying to create less tension, less anger, because there's going to be a lot of anger, because a lot of people are not healed, and that is they don't know what to do with their emotions. It's going to have a lot of anger, and it's going to be, you know, which leads to a lot of violence. So whatever, when they're dragging shit out, just keep on, just, you know, I don't know. I luckily have a big distraction going, and now I feel like, okay. And I drove today too in the car, and it did fine. And so tomorrow, and then they moved my surgery later. So tomorrow I'll go start the car, and then I'll go get down there and get back home. And then whatever is going to happen, like next, at least I will, you know, be here, and I'll feel like I'm more in a safer place, except for if I got fucking black SUVs pulling up, staring at me. So, anyways, we'll just see how I feel tomorrow. So, anyways, I can't say either way, because in the morning I could be like, I could be up all fucking night. I hope not. And there could be something going on, and I want to talk about it. Or I could be like in the morning, I'm rushing and rushing, you know, trying to get out of here. And I've got to watch the navigation too on the time thing. So, but then, anyways, when I get back, we'll just see. But so if I don't do anything tomorrow, it's probably just because of too busy or didn't feel good or whatever. So, anyways, if I don't talk to you tomorrow, remember to love yourself, to love everyone. That's so important. And to have a loving day. And if you wouldn't mind, if you all would just send me positive vibes tomorrow, just keep sending me positive vibes, positive vibes. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you as soon as I get back. Talk to you later. Bye.